Hello everyone, welcome to Barony. Indeed, let's play Barony. Now, I did take a bit of a look at Barony a few months ago while it was still in alpha, but this is actually the release version. It's out now. For those who didn't check out my video back then, Barony is a first-person real-time dungeon crawl, which is not a roguelike, but very much draws inspiration from them. Now, it hasn't been that much covered on YouTube, and there have been a couple of people on Reddit bemoaning the lack of Let's Plays of this game. So, since I enjoy the game, and I've been playing it a bit anyway, I thought I might as well LP it. So here we are, let's play Barony, the retail version. Of course, as always, I will put a link in the description below to where you can acquire the game for yourself, and I do recommend it if you like dungeon crawls, procedurally generated dungeon crawls in particular. So let's get started, shall we? Now, we can choose male or female. I don't know if that has any effect on your stats. I know in the alpha version it did. Male characters had sort of physical stat improvements and female characters had a slight advantage in other areas. It doesn't display those stats changes here, so I assume perhaps there's no difference, which I tend to actually prefer. I think it's just cosmetic, so let's continue. Now, class-wise, I haven't played the game enough to really get the hang of being some of the more awkward classes like the Merchant or the Joker. I have had a go with the Wizard a little bit, but I tend to favour the Warrior or the Rogue at this point. The Rogue goes pretty well. Not physically strong, but quite dexterous. So I'm going to go with the Warrior. You'll see at the bottom it actually gives you a hint as to the experience level you need in order to really get the best out of these classes. This one says difficulty normal, this one says difficulty beginner. Though I have played the game a bit, I'm certainly not an expert, so let's go with the Warrior. And believe me, I will most likely get my ass kicked anyway, even though it's a beginner class. Again, I don't think this actually makes any difference, it's just a purely cosmetic thing. So let's be High Watch, because he actually looks the most like me. And we are going to call our character Stuart, after the guy who used to run my local pub quiz. Now, this is one of the features of Barony, which I haven't really had a chance to explore all that much. If at all. I'm actually not sure I've ever tried this out, and that is the multiplayer thing. Unlike most games of this type, things like Delver, for instance, you can actually have multiplayer parties trekking through this dungeon. It's something I'd like to try at some point, but I haven't really had the chance yet. And of course, for the purposes of this Let's Play, we're going to be going single player. So here we are, straight away. Control is WASD for movement. You look around with the mouse. You attack with left mouse. And use right mouse to do things like interact with switches or pick items up. So if we pick up this book that's conveniently lying here, you pop open your inventory with tab, which takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's right next to the movement keys, so it's actually fairly convenient. What's less convenient is equipping spells. So, anyway, there's our spell book. Don't know any spells at the moment. And if we press M, we go straight to that. So, first things first, let's pick up a couple of torches. I always like to grab torches off the wall here, because you never know when you're going to run out of light in the dungeon. Sometimes it's for the best to actually sneak around in the dark, but for the most part, I like to be in the light as much as possible. So let's read that book we just picked up. You'll see it's hotkeyed at the bottom on number 5. You will also see, if you look at the hotkeys, that we have the spear we're currently wielding, but we also have a sword and a bow, so they're worth bearing in mind. Anyway, my journal. After travelling for days, I finally found it, the ruins of the town once known as Hamlet. This place is a veritable wasteland. Almost nothing is left of the grand buildings I read about in the history books. The only structure still standing is the entrance to the mines. It's quite large and the door only opens one way. It seems once I go in, there's no coming out. But I'm determined to dispel whatever evil has taken this place, and so I must proceed. My only hope is that my quest not be in vain. Gods above, protect me as I enter this forsaken place. Now, there is a bit of intro text in the game. I skipped it this time because it's not really all that important. It's basically just a justification for trekking into this dungeon. It's something to do with an evil guy who used to rule this land, and he oppressed the people. Eventually the people rose up and overthrew him, and they locked him in this mine. But since then, more and more hardship has befallen the town. Monsters have been appearing and that kind of thing. So I'm heading down into this mine to find and exterminate the source of the evil, which could be the guy who was locked down here. Or not, we don't know. But apparently there's no way out. Door's locked, that's not a good start. Best of luck, mortal. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But we can just bash the door down, if necessary. Sometimes the very first door of the game, the one on the floor above us here, will be locked. Because, of course, this is procedurally generated, which means sometimes doors are locked, even if it's stupid. So, you'll see that as we head into the shadows here, we can't see anything. So, oh, skeleton, skeleton, skeleton. There we go. We did take a few hits there, but we're not too bad. Oh, another one. Quite often in combat, you'll find that enemies will inflict a bleeding effect on you, which will cause you to just continue gradually hemorrhaging health. I'd say that's probably the most common way I've died. Anyway, he did drop all of this crap. Shield, sword, that kind of stuff, which we can pick up if we want to, but it's very easy to become overburdened, so I'm not going to bother. I will equip a torch. Unfortunately, that means we can't use our shield, which does leave us a bit more vulnerable. That's some kind of gem. Now this thing is barred, so there might be, yes, a switch. There we go. Hopefully that will enable us to pass through this archway. In the bottom right you'll see there's a mini-map, which is going to be indispensable as we move around, because it's very, very easy to get lost. I keep hearing an enemy around. Oh, I'll get this cream pie. The only thing contained in this chest is an excellent magic staff. And we don't know what that is yet, but we may get a chance to find out in due course. In true procedurally generated dungeon crawl or roguelike spirit, a lot of the items we'll come across are unidentified, and we'll have to either identify them or figure out what they do. Down you go. Yeah. I think the release version of Barony is, at least in the early stages of the game, very slightly easier than the alpha version. So anyone who played that and just relentlessly got their ass kicked like I did can take heart from the fact that it seems to be a little bit more forgiving in this incarnation. At least in the early game. That was a ring. So we could do with identifying that, really. What else did we pick up? I think we got a book. We did get a book. A brief survey of goblins. Let's try reading that. Slovenly, pungent, beastly. These are adjectives that humans commonly pair with the creatures we call goblins. And it is fitting, because the things truly are vile. The things truly are vile. Creatures. But despite this, there is much to be gained in studying the things. Whether it is to gain an advantage in battle against them, or to just keep away from them altogether. All, in capital letters, all people can benefit by reading the contents of this book. Did I just hear someone coming in? I hope not. For although there was a dark time when we knew nothing about the creatures and could only cower as they destroyed our homes and kidnapped our children, those days are forever over. For I, Horace P. Fetch, have done what few would dare to do and spent years investigating goblins up close, determining their weaknesses in person. Oh, apparently my torch is starting to die, so I will unequip the torch. Where did I put it? There it is. There we go. No point wasting the torch while we're reading. Where was I? I spent years investigating them, determining their weaknesses in person, so you don't have to. Is he on TV? He sounds like a shady infomercial guy. Determining their weaknesses, so you don't have to. Now, as I'm sure you must know, humans and goblins... this is quite long, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Humans and goblins always been at war, blah blah blah. I've exposed myself, forced to defend myself against them. Time came, I did indeed defend myself. Goblins are quite fierce, but I deflected their attacks. How was I able to fight them off? That's the important bit. arm myself with a collection of weapons, Harold's armour and arms. Good heavens! Apparently you shout good heavens at goblins and they go away. Hardware. Not really sure what the point of all this is. Size increasing potion, whatever. Seems to be mostly flavour text. Let's drink. The fountain dries up. Oh, and it tasted like poison, so now we're poisoned and we'll just shed health. Oh, God. Fountains, of course, are also... Oh, crap. Do we have anything healthy? No, we don't have anything healthy to drink. Well, that went poorly. Okay. So, let's restart the game, which will allow us to jump straight back in with the same character class and everything. We'll leave that journal behind, because we don't need it. We read it before. So, the moral of that story is, don't drink from fountains. Also, don't read books, because they're really, really long. I'm fine with flavour text and that kind of thing. I spent a lot of time reading the books in Morrowind, but it's not necessarily good Let's Play material. Okay, down you go, down you go. Yeah. Okay. Now, we did lose a fair amount of health there, so that's a little problematic. We're just being mobbed by enemies here. This is ridiculous. Get away! This is a terrible first floor. Anyone else? There's one over there. We're losing blood. See, my health's going down because we're bleeding. This is bad. This is bad. I don't think I have anything I can heal with. Just stop bleeding. Please stop bleeding. With 5 points of health left. Wow. Okay. Right. Let's switch to this bow. And try to avoid getting that close to enemies again if we can. I think we will gradually regain health as we move around. So maybe it would be best to avoid attracting attention. So I'm going to keep my torch hidden away. And, yeah. Pickaxe. I'm not sure if I want that, but I'll take it for now. I don't know if it's possible to mine through walls and things in this game. Okay. Health is gradually creeping back. I don't really want a rock. So we'll just throw that on the floor. Okay. Yes, as I mentioned before, there is a mini-map in the bottom right corner which becomes absolutely invaluable as you explore the floors, because otherwise it can be very, very easy to get lost. If any of you remember my Let's Play of Delver, you might be getting a little bit of deja vu here. A few people have remarked on the similarities between this game and Delver. But while Delver is... Oh, crap! Run! 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 Okay, need my spear out again. Okay. Wow. We're in entirely too much danger here, and I don't think we have any healing potions or anything. No, it really doesn't look like it. Yeah, while Delver is a good game, it is quite simple, and I feel like Barony is kind of Delver taken to the next level. It's Delver with more depth and more detail and more options put in. More drawn from roguelikes with all of their complexity and their many options, their wide variety of items and that kind of thing. This feels like a fuller, more thoroughly developed dungeon crawl. Okay, do I want to try drinking out of this? I mean, last time we drank from a fountain, it actually killed us, so maybe not. We do know where the exit is now, so there's that. But I would like to check out a bit more of this floor before we move on. Partly to have the opportunity to regain some health, shit, or indeed to lose some health to skeletons. Oh my god, don't be bleeding, don't be bleeding. We're not bleeding! Okay, what's this book? The History of Baron Herx. Baron Herx is, I think, the evil guy who was locked in the mine, so maybe it's worth having a quick glance at this. The history of Baron Herx is a bleak and dark one, if I say so myself. It all starts in Hamlet, a mining town with a big and flourishing industry. At the time, of course. A man called Baron Herx was the mayor of Hamlet, and he promised the people of Hamlet jobs and security, but in reality overworked and taxed them heavily. Sounds like the UK. The reason for this was for Herx's own enjoyment. Baron Herx was reported to be a rather nasty man. Not even human, a citizen was recorded saying. He can't be human. No human could possibly be this evil. Lords above, help us, if so. As someone who was trained to be a medieval historian, I question the veracity of your primary source. After a while, the citizens of Hamlet grew tired of this. They mined, literally... they literally mined all day and night. I assume he means literally all day and night, but it looks like they literally mined. Just in case you thought I meant figuratively mining, they literally mined. Anyway, for a king who demanded gold in a mine that only produced copper, well, that was stupid. He sounds like a rubbish king. So they came up with a plan. They'd tell Herx they struck gold at the bottom floor of his mine. On arrival, they'd lock up the mines, leaving him to die there and the people of Hamlet to take their city back. So this is kind of a slightly more flowery and verbose retelling of the introductory text, which you can get at the outset of the game. Nobody knows what happened to him down in the mines. It's likely he went mad and killed himself. If that's likely, then it means it didn't happen, in this case. In any case, upon his death, Herx's pure hatred for everything lower than him... Lower than him? Like further down in the mine? I assume not. And his lust for revenge kept him alive and remade him a higher being known as a lich. Okay, so you're guessing that he's actually become a lich. Fine. They can summon creatures, but he can't come back to the surface. And he just eats people who come down here. That's reassuring. Let's throw this book on the floor. That's what you get for scaring me, literature. Okay. Right, we've got a scroll named Phoebe Bletch, which is a nod to, I think, NetHack. You'll also see Phoebe Bletch scrolls in WozHack, if you play that, or watch my videos of it. Incidentally, WozHack fans, I will be returning to that at some point. Every now and then I burn out on WozHack and have to take a break, but I will be back. Okay, let's read this. It's a bit of a gamble, but let's do it. Okay, Field of Light surrounds you. Light scroll isn't too bad. It's not that good either, but at least we've identified it. That's one less unidentified scroll. Okay, this appears to be entirely a dead end. I haven't played the game enough yet to know whether there are secret doors and that kind of thing. But it looks like a dead end. Oh, hell. No, no! Okay. I think we've done most of the floor. There's still a little bit sort of to the right here, which I will check out. A ring. Okay. Hopefully we find a scroll of Identify before too much longer, so that I can start finding out what these rings and things are. Oh, a potion. Always, always so tempting to just scoff down potions to find out what they are, but we're only at half health still. Also, notice there's a flashing food icon right next to our health at the moment. We are hungry. So, we're going to have to eat something soon. We don't want to starve to death. If any of you have played roguelikes before, then you know that starving to death is often a very, very real danger. What's that? A worn lantern. Okay, so that's another light source should we need it. But a little anticlimactic when treasure hunting. You found a light. Stealth ability is improved. That's what we get for walking around in the dark. Also, let me know if this is too dark. If it is, then I'll edit up the brightness in future videos to make things more visible. Because I can see okay. I can't see very far, but I can see the walls and things. Okay, what's this? Oh, it's a chair. We're getting too hungry, so we're going to have to eat. I think we're actually slowing down because of hunger. So what do we have? We have some bread, we have some fish, we have a slightly aged cream pie. Let's eat that. Blech! Rotten food! And it made us vomit. And actually didn't help our hunger. So I guess let's eat the fish. That fish hit the spot. So we're no longer hungry. And now we will follow the mini-map to... Oh, shit. No, 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 no. I think we gained a level there. So that's okay. Alright. That's all of you? No one else want to have a go? No? Alright. So, I'm looking at the minimap and heading towards, or trying to head towards, the flashing red dot down at the southern end of the minimap, because that should be the exit. I think we've about cleared out this floor. Okay. Next floor. The caves are filled with unnatural darkness. I had noticed.
My pet hungers for human flesh.
My pet hungers for human flesh. Okay. Well, I can hear a rat. Is that your human flesh-devouring pet? If so, it's a little bit of a disappointment. I can hear things moving around. Could be NPCs. We do run into friendly NPCs occasionally in this dungeon. We haven't seen a shop yet, but there should be one before too much longer. Ugh, alright, the darkness is starting to give me a headache, so I'm going to whip out a torch here. But it will attract attention to us. That's the drawback. Okay, a scroll? Is that a scroll? Yes. Alright. Let's go in here and read this scroll. Oh, it's another light scroll. That's annoying. So there are two types of scroll that are both light scrolls. What are the chances that 100% of the scrolls we've found so far have been light scrolls? Another ring. Meat? That was meat? It looked bright yellow. I'm not sure I want to put bright yellow meat in my mouth. Oh well. The needs of adventurers can be strange and unpleasant at times. Okay, so we've got a journal. We picked up another book. Surviving the Mines. Okay. Well, howdy there. Name's Shopkeeper Joe. Shopkeeper Joe? Okay, so it's got some info on rats, spiders, slimes, gnomes. Okay, might be worth keeping this for future reference, but I'm not reading it all now. I might read it off camera if I remember. And here's a worker's journal. We're all dying down here, although I, having accepted my fate, have learnt to manoeuvre and thrive in the darkness. The others seem to have not. Not sure why. Also, they tend to kill each other over things like food and water. Or themselves for being scared and depressed. Quite savage, really. Glad I managed to be happy with the mines. I don't mind eating dirt, it tastes quite good, actually. Wow, okay. There's something a little bit wrong with that guy. A minotaur has arrived. I guess that's the pet. Holy shit! No! Wow. Okay. I didn't see that coming. Good grief. Well, I guess maybe we need to rush for the exit as quickly as we can if the minotaur is on a particular floor then. That's interesting. I've never seen a minotaur before. Also, it seems like food is a problem. I mean, we were hungry again then and we didn't have all that much food left. So, maybe I'm exploring too much. It's the old rogue conundrum from the original roguelike. Rogue. Do you explore the whole dungeon and risk getting too hungry to continue? So I'll have to think about that a bit more. But for now, this has been episode 1 of Let's Play Barony. Rejoin me next time, and we'll have another go at entering this dungeon now that we've actually gained a little more information about the kind of thing we can expect down there. So, thanks for watching, and rejoin me then for more dungeon crawling antics. Bye for now.